Welcome to the video tutorial of GoSequencing. My name is Barbara Fernandez. I am a speech-language pathologist and I'm also the designer of GoSequencing. GoSequencing is one of my favorite apps because it's so adorable and it helps teach kids skills that are really important for a variety of different future skills that they're going to be learning. Let me show you around the app. As soon as you download the app, this is the main screen. To get started, you click on Go. I already have one child here, John, but as you set up, you can set up a new child. You saw that if I don't add an avatar, I get this black icon, but I can go ahead and select an avatar for Alice. You scroll through the avatar section, and I'm going to select Alice. Now I have Alice and John. I can select both of them to do a practice because this app will automatically track their progress individually. But I'm going to go ahead and just work with Alice right now. Alice is on level 1 and we're going to go ahead and get started. As you can see, these are all the different levels that the student will get this really nice play-based interactive activity to learn the sequencing of activities.
Human aging. Babies are little and need a lot of care. Toddlers can walk and talk and eat cookies. When they become teens, they finish growing. After a long time, people get old and need help sometimes.
So, on level 1, all we are trying to teach is what happened first and what happened last. So the first questions you can see here, do you remember what happened first? And the child goes ahead and select, the babies are little and need a lot of help.
Putting on pants. Get a pair of pants from the closet. Sit down and put your leg in a pant leg. Stand up and pull up your pants. Put on a belt and you're ready to go.
So this time it's asking what happened last. So instead of actually selecting the answer, what I want to do is show you that the app is available in Spanish as well as Portuguese and show you a few of the settings. What you saw, that story playing, is do you want it to play the sequence before the task? And this gets even more important as we play on levels that are harder of 6-step directions. So I'm going to go back here and click on Go. Then I'm going to select both students. Notice that Alice is on level 1 and John is on level 13. John was able to go through all these different levels. Notice level 1 was what happened first and what happened last, to 3 steps with image and audio, 4 steps, 5 steps, all the way to 6 steps, image and audio only, to 13 steps with text and audio. I'm going to go back and put him on level 8 so you guys can get a difference. And now since we've seen level 1, let's take a look at level 2. So as you can see, both students move through their path. The student on level 2 stays on level 2, and the student on level 8 proceeds to the level 8. Kids love this type of interactivity. I'm going to go ahead and double tap to skip.
Playing fetch. Lisa brings a ball and takes her dog Lucky to the park. Lucky waits like a good dog for Lisa to throw the ball. Lucky brings the ball back to Lisa so she can throw it again.
Now, remember that before on level 1, we had what happened first and what happened last. Now on level 2, you had 3 steps and the child would need to set them in the correct order. So what happened first? Lisa brings a ball and takes her dog to the park.
Lisa brings a ball and takes her dog Lucky to the park.
Then she
Lucky
throws the ball.
waits like a good dog. Lucky brings...
And we got the correct pattern. She gets a star.
Crossing a street.
Now we go to level 8.
Always cross a street at a crosswalk. You can push a button for the crossing light if there is one. Make sure you look both ways. Carefully cross with the light. You've reached the other side safely. Good job.
So now we have 5-step direction with image and text. The child can tap
You
on the
can
image
push a button for the
to have it
crossing
read
light
for them.
if there is one.
And what the app is doing is tracking all this data right here. So we can take a look at the progress report, how she did with 1 step and with 2 step. The same can be said for John. And you can see here how he's doing. Obviously, this here is a random data point. But it tracks the data over time on how each child is progressing on their sequencing skills. Another thing that is the coolest thing about this app is that you're able to modify the database. So the database breaks down all the different types of tasks. We have meal time, which would include making a toast, baking a cake, making a sandwich, playing time. Then we have grooming and hygiene, and you scroll to see to check the amount of sequences included here. We have nature, bird hatching, and you see that you can select and deselect one. So if for some reason you don't want to do any of the nature ones, you can turn them all off. Chores and miscellaneous, things like firefighters, taking the bus to school. Maybe some of these things don't apply to the child. For example, maybe taking the bus to school doesn't apply, and you can always turn that off. Here's the best part. You can also add a custom sequence. You can go ahead and tap on Add Image, select the image, then tap to add the story. This would be the step 1. Then you tap step 2. So if you wanted this to be just a 3-step custom task, you add your images, you tap your text, then you tap the record button to record, and these custom tasks will appear as if you was part of the game. This is something that you can utilize to customize the experience. As you do an activity with the child, you can use that custom sequence to, for example, blend in an in-person live activity where if you're making a cake, you take the photos, you add them here, you work on a text, and then the child can have that custom activity on more digital form, which is usually expected of them in a school setting. This was it for GoSequencing, created by Smarty Ears. You can find GoSequencing on the App Store.